So what I have here is an issue with the front brakes. Well, it's not so much an issue, it's more of a squealing problem. They work, but they need greasing up again. So
"12 seconds later."
right, what I've done here is that I put, as you can see, I've got a, it's downhill. I wasn't too happy, so what I've done is that I put the car across, so it's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to use this brick here, jam it under the back wheel at the other side so the car can't roll forward. What I've also done as well is that I've let the car naturally settle in a rut on the grass. So what will happen is that again it won't move. The biggest fear here is that the car will roll forwards and come off the jack and smash things. If the car lands on that disc, it could shatter the disc. So that's what I'm up to at the moment. I'll be back in a bit when I've got the wheel off. So the wheel's off. As you can see, it's underneath the car. Right, let's just adjust that a little bit. There we go. Now all I need to do is crack these, take the pad off, take the caliper off, and then I've got, which I bought, I mean, this little G-clamp here, I think it cost me about 3 or 4 lev, and then I can push the piston back in a little bit. So 13mm spanner, which it ain't, it's a fucking 12. Oh my god.
A few moments later.
Right, I've already cracked these off and it's all good. Right, so I've got those, they can go down there. Now let's just take a look at these pads. Oh dear me. Right, okay. Right, well, they're not in bad rough. Right, this is part of the problem. Ideally I need to take that carrier off, but I'm not going to, so I'm just going to see if I can get a wire brush and just clean those up a little bit. Right, so first I'm going to try an electric drill, well, a battery drill. Right, you can see that's cleaned up a bit. That's cleaned up a bit as well, but it's not really. If in doubt, I mean, ideally, what are they? They're probably a 17. So yeah, I'll go get a 17mm spanner. I'm going to take the carrier off. Right, scrap that idea. Can't take the carrier off because The bolts on it are knackered. So going to the back of these is going to be interesting. Right, not too sure what was going on there with the, I'm not too sure why this camera's playing up, but it is.
One eternity later.
Right, I don't know what's up with the other fucking camera, but whatever it is, it's a pain in the arse. Right, okay, so as I was saying, right, so scrub these off. Right. Getting rid of all the crap off the pad. Okay. Right, right, so these are moving quite freely. However, this is a bit of an issue, so let's clean it up. It isn't going as well as I thought it might, but still. Okay, so we've got that. Now we're going to spray a bit of WD on there. Let's tip all the WD out. Clean up these back legs. Right, you can see, I hope, that what we got here is that we got a bit of a build up. But that's exactly what the dust cover's for. So let's, right, and you can see we've got some tearing and things going on here, so fuck it, I'm going to leave it at that. Right, so then we get the copper grease, squeeze a bit out, and we're just gonna run it round here. Let's give it a bit of a cut. Okay, now next thing I need to do is try and insert this clamp into there and then push that in a little. Now I'm hoping that it will just push in. There we goes. And there we go. And it's pushing back out. Right, anyway. So we'll put a bit of copper grease. We put a bit of copper grease on there. I'll put a little bit more on, considering I've just taken some off. And then I'm going to put copper grease on the backs of these things, only a thin layer, that's all I need. Nice thin layer of copper grease. Right, copper grease, well, to call it that is a bit of a misconception, because it's not actually grease. What it is that it's a compound that prevents sticking. Now that's slightly worrying. You see, these pads fit in perfectly, as you can see. We've got a slight lip there, so these pads may be a little bit smaller than they should be, but they work. Oh god, right, I've managed to get copper grease on there, WD on there, so we'll scrape it off, because the last thing that we want is an oil on the discs. And then we shall clean it off. There we go. Right, okay, so I'm just going to sit that there for the minute. Now, what do I need? I need the slider. So I'm going to clean the slider up. Got a little dust cover there. So putting your dust cover on, just put it on, slot it in. There we go, there's that. Right, so that's all nice and clean. It's supposed to be an anti-rattle thing on there, but I can't be asked. Okay. And then, as you can see, just a little bit of grease on there, and then that slides back in. Push it on, and it should, yeah, it all self-locates. See, as you can hear, and see, it's all I mean, fuck it, since I got it off anyway. Right, okay, so we'll clean that off again. And we'll just give it a slight coating of copper grease. Right. Push that on, and as you can see, that sits quite nicely. Now, rear pad, well, piston side of the pad. Just put a little bit of copper grease on. There we go. And then these, you'll see better when I come to do this side, but they just slip on. Right, okay. Give that anti-rattle plate a bit of a clean. And then, again, just to, that's actually a bit much. So if you put too much on like I have there, see, just to stop it sticking, and then the pads just slip in. Right, then we shall slide that onto there, slide that into there, push that in, slide that on there, and we take the 2 bolts. There's the first one, which isn't locating properly for some reason. Oh, there we go. Now it is. Right, okay. And we'll do the second one. There we is. Right, so let's get a spanner on there. That's nice and tight. I'm not convinced that one's it. Yeah, it is. It's in. There we go. There's that. There's that. And as you can see, that's all now sliding quite nicely. So, it's just a question of putting the wheel on. Turning the car around. I'm going to have to put it over there against the wall, but turn the car around, do exactly the same as I've just done here, and that's basically it. But the problem with out here is that it's been a very, very long, very, very hot, very, very dry summer. Okay, and as you can see, everything is moving as it should. Once I actually press the brakes, the piston will come out and things will start operating properly.